the central government has written to states about increased surveillance amid a surge in COVID cases that is happening in China. At the moment, the center has written to states asking them to ramp up genome sequencing, which is testing that would determine what kind of COVID variants are actually out there right now. And governments have been asked to track these variants in a wake of this COVID surge in China. One of the big stories today is how COVID is ripping through China at the moment. And there are some experts and the economists that have predicted 1.5 million deaths in China alone. Other experts are warning that the rest of the world may see a fresh outbreak of COVID in the next few months. And therefore, everyone has been asked to remain alert for that. My colleague Tanushree Pandey now joining us for more on this advisory by the centre. Tanushree, what more can you tell us on this?
Well, in view of the sudden spurt of cases being witnessed in Japan, USA, Korea, Brazil and China, the government...
Well, you've just lost that line with Tanushree, but as she was pointing out, and this is what the centre's letter says, that there is a sudden spurt of cases that's being seen in China, in Brazil, in Korea, the United States and Japan, and it is essential, as they have said, to gear up the whole genome sequencing of positive samples to track variants that are in India, which would enable the timely detection of newer variants. So this is very important because at the moment, India has seen a number of variants like other countries. It's not clear what exactly is driving this surge in China, whether it is a new variant. We had spoken earlier to one of India's leading virologists, Dr. Gagandeep Kang. You can watch her full interview later at 9 o'clock, where she said that it appears the Chinese surge is being driven by subvariants of Omicron only, which is important. But we'd have to wait and see whether new variants could emerge in the next few months that could potentially impact the rest of the world. So there is certainly global alarm at the moment, given that surge that we are seeing in China. China, of course, has had very strict restrictions in place, complete lockdown ever since this pandemic began. And that has led some experts to believe that the population is not as exposed to natural immunity. The vaccine coverage has not been great, especially amongst the elderly, who are the most vulnerable, which is why many of the hospitalizations and deaths are in those who are 80 and above in China. But the worry, of course, is that this could lead to a fresh outbreak in other parts of the world. Cases are going up in the US and some other countries as well at the moment. But in China in particular, things are very, very bad at the moment. So the government deciding to step in and asking states to track positive COVID cases, look at the genome sequencing carefully so that newer variants can be tracked.